Do you like to be called Epi or Epi Bodhi?
Epi.
Epi? Epi, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming out to Amherst Media to do this interview.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate you. Can you please state your name and profession?
I'm Epi Bodhi. I'm a public health professional. I am now retired, but for almost 25 years, I work for the Amherst Health Department.
What is the Peace in the Family, a Khmer community project?
When I was with the health department was very multidimensional. We inspected restaurants and other institutions and followed communicable diseases. But my main interest was, besides those, was about health equity. And I worked with the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, and they made available money that one could apply for, a department or other institution. I think I was the only health department that applied for, could work on domestic violence in the Cambodian American community. And I received some funding. I have no idea how much it was, but I received some funding and I was able to hire a full-time outreach worker. And for a period of time, we had a additional part-time outreach worker.
How did you get the funding and grant from the Massachusetts Department of Health?
I applied for it. There was a program, and if not mistaken, it was called RISE, and it was for new immigrant populations within the state of Massachusetts. And I'm not sure if it was limited to domestic violence, but I think it was, and that's where I got the funding from.
You worked with Lauren. What was Lauren's position?
Her position was outreach worker, but she was a powerhouse and really a great representative of the Amherst Cambodian community, and a great pulling things together. And she knew a lot. She knows a lot. I'm sure she still does. She knows a lot and very likable. People were always attracted to her.
How did this program fit in with the mission of the health department?
My main interest at the health department was health equity. So I was working with underserved populations, populations new to Amherst, populations in need. And that's how it fit in. And I was most interested in the whole health of the Cambodian population. And this money that was geared for domestic violence could be used liberally to work more closely on the general health of the Cambodian population. For instance, this is way before the time of FaceTime and all that. We had a television. It seems so ancient now, but we had a television and a way to connect with a psychiatrist in Connecticut that was working with the Cambodian population that had survived the Khmer Rouge and had been, needed post-trauma counseling. And so they would come to our office, and Rin would serve as translator, and they would talk to the psychiatrist.
How did the Amherst community know to help the Cambodian community in Amherst?
I think just through contact and being aware of history, of how they got here. And at least a handful, probably more, of Amherst residents were sponsors of people that came from Cambodia. And so those people certainly knew about what was going on with them. And the more I worked with Rin, the more I knew. I have no doubt that if something happened, Rin would be called to, because Rin, by her position in the health department, knew about local and state resources. And so she would, if somebody needed help, she would connect them to those resources. I'm quite sure. So I should mention that in addition to Rin, there was a part-time male worker. My mind is blank about what his name was, but he also helped bridge the gap because women are more attracted to being served, and men are more reticent. So he bridged that gap. And he also spent time with the Men's Resource Center learning about how to support men and how to avoid domestic violence using his cultural lens. And I really wish I remembered his name, but he was very wonderful.
What was the additional funding from the Women's Health Network for?
My memory is that it was for working with the Latina community on breast cancer. I think that we also used some of that money for Rin to work with the Cambodian community on the same topic.
Did the community take the outreach well?
The people that I'm assuming that 100% of the community did not avail themselves of the outreach, and Rin did not know who they were, but many people did. I couldn't give you what percentage it was, but many people did.
Was there a certain location within Amherst that benefited the most or had the most outreach compared to other places?
Well, the place that comes up to my mind is the area around the boulders. I don't know if it's still called the boulders.
Brittany Manor, I think they brought back the old name.
Okay, well, I knew it as the boulders. And I think that was a focus because there were many families in that area. Not necessarily in the boulders, but in other housing developments right near it.
Yes, like South Point and I believe Mill River.
I don't remember. Those aren't the names I remember, but they may have changed their names. And also, the temple was a place for outreach. And then there was some divisive thing that happened and another temple developed. And so they were all places of outreach and also community and wonderful celebrations, Cambodian celebrations.
Did you attend any Cambodian celebrations?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't remember the New Year, I think it was, at the original temple. And Rin's wedding was an amazing event with many of Amherst's Cambodian population there.
Was there any memories you wanted to share about these Cambodian events that you went to? Good memories?
Yeah. Well, food was always delicious and plentiful, and many, many courses. And Rin's wedding was amazing, and she changed, I don't know how many times. I'm not used to weddings.
I think it was about 5.
I'm not used to weddings where the bride changes her clothes. And I think, if memory serves me well, the married couple went around and people gave them money. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember more about, it was fun. It wasn't needy or anything. but I don't remember more of the context. Like, did they have a hat? I don't remember that. But I do remember they went around from table to table.
Cambodian weddings are definitely fun. The one I went to was a two-part wedding where the first day was more traditional with the outfit changes and the next day was the banquet hall.
Oh,
Unless you went to Rin's wedding and they did it all in one day.
I think so.
That's insane. Oh.
I think so. It wasn't a banquet. It took place at St. Bridget's in the, it was a huge room. And there was lots of fun, food and fun.
Are there any Cambodian outreach programs in existence today for Amherst residents who are Cambodian?
I don't know of any, but I'm not so connected to the public health or scene. I do know of a program that I am part of that's a Cambodian-based program, but it's for people that live in Cambodia. And that is called the Cambodian Water Project. And Soka Mao and his wife Nai are very involved in it. And that organization raises money to send to particular villages in Cambodia who are struggling with water issues. And in my later years, I became very attached to clean water in third world countries. So I was able to help with that.
If you'd like to talk a little bit more about the Cambodian Water Project, you're welcome to.
Yeah, basically, we raise money for 3 communities, and there are, what are religious leaders called? I forget. Monks. Monks in those communities that serve as liaisons. And in those communities decide whether water filters, toilets, cleaning up water basins, and biofilters are the programs that the community decides they need. And the money that Amherst residents of different nationalities give to that project is appropriated for that through the monks.
That's beautiful. You're helping people in America and outside of America.
Yeah.
I hope you're not spreading yourself too thin. I hope you get a little break now.
No. And I get fed delicious Cambodian food.
Can you tell us about that annual dinner?
Well, we haven't had it since COVID, but Nai would make most of the food with help. And it was delicious. It was multi-course, and the event would happen at Cherry Hill Co-housing, which is where I live, and we'd raise thousands of dollars, and many people in the community would come. And Ruth Hazard is very involved in it, and Mary Sayre and a couple of other people. And they would produce a slideshow of what had happened that year and talk and eat delicious food. What I remember the most was the egg rolls, but there was certainly plenty of other food as well.
Now, did people have to buy a ticket to sit down, or was it more like just a donation type of event?
And I do remember one funny thing, that after the first year after COVID happened and we couldn't have a dinner, egg rolls were delivered to people who wanted them, to people who gave a donation and wanted egg rolls.
That is such a great, amazing Cambodian touch. I love to hear it. Well, if you don't have anything else you remember or something that's worth sharing, we can conclude the interview, and I appreciate your time with us, Epi.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.